So the open world plague is coming to Ghost Recon Wildlands, but guys, don't worry, it's going to be different. Trust us. So I make a video talking about Ubisoft's basic run-of-the-mill cut and paste open world progression system. Basically, you find a tower on the map, you climb the tower, and you unlock a portion of the map. And I was called a fucking idiot by a bunch of people, which is glorious, but I'm not the only one asking those questions. In an article today written by Gaming Bolt, they sat down with the lead game designer of Ghost Recon Wildlands. His name is Dominic Butler, and they literally asked him how progression is going to work in this game. And they wrote it, surely not more Ubisoft towers, right? And he says, we're going to be making a big announcement about that very soon. The idea is that the players from the beginning are able to basically the freedom of choice I talked about earlier. It starts right from the moment you turn on the game. You'll customize your ghost, the look, the gear, the weapons they have, all that kind of stuff. From the beginning, the kind of loadout you want to take with you, and in overtime you're going to get new weapons, new attachments. Everything is authenticated by the military, by different weapon companies. You'll be able to grow as a character as well. You'll have access to new abilities, tools, and you can modify them. My focus is more on the open world aspect and what you're actually going to be doing within that open world. Is it going to be like Metal Gear Solid 5, which from the gameplay that I have seen, I feel like it's leaning more towards a very open world with set locations to do your missions? Or is it going to be like a living, breathing world where you could walk into a town that isn't under cartel control, and you can talk to NPCs and do that? I'm going to venture to say that that's not the case. But in the basic, breaking down everything in the basic sense, he's saying that the game is basically open from the beginning. You drop into the world and nothing is unlocked. It seems like this Ubisoft mentality of having you climb things to unlock portions of the map is not there anymore. I'm wondering if it's going to be story-based and how they're actually going to be handling the story. Is it going to be do this mission and do this mission? Kind of like Far Cry 4 and how Far Cry 4 handled it. You did this part of the story and it unlocked the next part of the map. Biggest issue that I had with Far Cry 4 in terms of that system is if you had somebody in your co-op session who was farther along, you couldn't get to that part of the map because you hadn't completed the story on your end. I had a friend who was farther in the campaign than me, and he had to spawn in on me, and we couldn't access the areas that he could access. And I thought that that was a really stupid, limiting way to do it. I feel like the whole map should be unlocked. And yeah, there might be parts of that map where it's like super difficult, kind of like how an MMO would do it, in the sense of you can walk to this city, but there might be a fuck ton of enemies with a bunch of advanced gear that you can't take on because you haven't gotten that far, but the freedom of choice to go there is still available. And that is true freedom of choice, because if that's me and I see a bunch of armed dudes, I'm going to load up a truck with some minuscule C4 or mines and try to drive in there and just have some fun, and I can do that. But instead, I see a screen that says area restricted, and I can't get to it because I haven't done that portion of the story. In Ghost Recon Wildlands, I hope that they fix that system, because I feel like even though it's open for him, he's in my campaign, and he essentially can't go to the places that he wants to go, that he's unlocked, because I'm being limited by the map boundaries. So if they can fix that, I think that is a nice first step and a nice workaround away from the Far Cry 4, and also away from the Ubisoft tower mentality of having to climb shit to unlock the map. Because let's be honest, that shit is so old school, and it's so cut and copy and paste that we just expect it. Right? That being said, the article kind of goes into him explaining how progression's going to work. Basically, like he gives an example how like you can throw a drone in the air and fly it around, and eventually when you get farther in the game, you might take that drone on the offensive or the defensive, and we give players the choice to do that. I mean, okay, but like, can you just address the concerns that the crowd has for your game? Like, can you talk about actual progression and not just the simple fact that we can use the drone mechanics to our advantage and do what we want with them? Like, of course, that's an obvious statement. If you have a drone in the game and I can fly it around, and I mean, that has nothing to do with the way you've designed the game in the overall scope. Like, that's player controlled, right? I jump in a drone and I want to try and distract somebody. That's something that I do as a player. But I'm talking, like, how does the game offer progression to the player? Is everything open right off the bat, or are we limited? That's the question that I have in specifics to this article. I am still waiting on PvP information. I'm ready to blow the fucking doors off of the PvP info that they're ready to drop. It sounds like announcements are coming soon. I just don't know when. And I'm sitting at the edge of my seat because I know that I have a lot of Ghost Recon people here, a lot of Ubisoft people here who are waiting to hear what they're going to fucking do. And we aren't getting that information, and it's driving me insane. I understand they're a business. Don't jump down my fucking throat and be like, they can announce it whenever they want. Shut up. I understand that. I'm just anxious to hear more. My name is Big Fry. Let me know in the comments down below, what kind of open world environment do you guys want? Do you want the Far Cry 4 style? Do you want everything open to you right off the bat and have maybe harder encampments to take over that you can go to, but you'll just get your ass kicked? How do you think the open world is going to work in this game? Use the keyword open world. That lets me know you guys made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate you watching. My name is Big Fry, and I'll see you on the next one.